Hi everyone, I'm Nikhil Mittal and we'll discuss in depth Teensy programming for everyone. It's a 3-session long thing. I think all of you will be interested enough to sit 3 sessions this thing. So starting with something about me, I'm a hacker. I go by this handle. On Twitter, you can find me as NIKHIL_MITT. This is my blog. I am creator of Cortelia, which is not so famous tool, and we'll be discussing about this thing today. It's a toolkit which allows you to easily use some nice payloads for Teensy, which helps you in breaking into systems. I'm interested in offensive information security, new attack vectors, methodologies to pawn systems. These have been my previous talks, and these are some upcoming talks. So the agenda for today's talk would be, first we'll look at have any one of you seen my previous talks? No? Good. Because I repeat jokes, so it's good if no one has seen them. So we'll have a look at a typical pen test scenario, how we or an average security guy does it, need for new methods to break into systems, how HIDs help in that thing. Then this is something which we'll be doing in most of our time. We'll have a look at what actually Teensy is. We'll have a look at basics of Arduino development environment, or it's also called only Arduino, which is used to program Arduino-based boards. Then these are some basic things. Actually, we'll install and configure our ADE, which is not a big thing. We'll understand the basics of programming using this Arduino environment. We'll write a hello world. Then we'll have a look at basic usage and programming of Teensy. I'll introduce you to Cortelia the toolkit, some demonstration of its payloads. We'll go through the source code. We'll program and perform attacks on Windows machines, basic ones, advanced ones. We'll change the payloads. We'll customize them according to our needs. We'll understand structure and how payloads are automated and customized using Cortelia. And we'll see how the last thing is it's under development. That is the integration of payloads in Cortelia. So I think we'll be doing it manually right now, but I plan to do the last thing completely manually driven in future. And we'll conclude with these things: how to protect against these kind of attacks, some pen test stories, because this is something which I'm asked very often in my presentations, that this may not be a practical thing. It's just a proof of concept, because you need physical access to a machine, because yes, you have to attach the device somehow to the system. But we have social engineers with us for that thing. We'll look at limitations of Teensy and Cortelia, future, and we'll conclude then. So some of the things, because we'll be together for some long time, so be as interactive as you can query questions anytime, even the nasty ones. Ignore that thing, insult me. I don't know who wrote that thing over there. And this thing is very important. It is mandatory to laugh on jokes, even if my accent is not so good to make you laugh, but you have to. We'll start slow, quite slow. Some of you might think that it's something theoretical and boring, but we'll do lots of hands-on, but we'll start slow. Just be patient. Okay, I've got the 4 point, and make sure you keep your eyes on, nobody sleeps. It's good that it finishes before lunch. So I'll keep checking. A typical pen test scenario. Now, how many of you do penetration testing as your jobs? Oh, so many of us. So it's the way, at least we have to do penetration tests. at least the internal ones and the external ones, the typical plain old pen test. Client engagement comes with IP addresses, or sometimes not with IP addresses. We have to do it on IP addresses ultimately. We have to do it in a very less time, restricted time frame, deadlines, and the pressure is on us to deliver a good report. And with some high severity, which affects the business, and all that the things that writing high in red box, medium in orange box, all those things, our managers want that thing. So how the threats are tested? Generally, at least to guys whom I have interacted with, this is the penetration test, plain old penetration test, POPN, sorry, POPT. So you sit inside, if it's an internal engagement, you sit inside a client's network, scan it using some vulnerability scanner, look at the high vulnerabilities, high severity findings, exploit them, create a nice report. But there's a problem. This is a best case scenario. Only lucky ones find that. It's like the generally legacy enterprise applications or some applications which are required by business, those are not updated. Some machines which are too precious to be touched by, at least by us, those are not updated, not patched. So those are the first targets. But there's almost no fun doing it that way. So some of us do it better. They enumerate before scanning. Okay, so these are the system. I should do Windows systems in a separate scan. I should do Linux systems in a separate scan, and all those things. Some of us do it even better. They do post-exploitation. They do intel gathering. Intel gathering includes that if they do some social engineering, post-exploitation of all of you know what I'm arriving to. So why do we need to exploit? You can see that in all of the scenarios, we have to exploit. So why do we exploit? Obviously, to gain access to the systems. This shows the real threat to the clients, at least we think so, that we can actually make an impact on their business. We can get access to their real data. No more so what's, because I have been to scenarios when we are discussing report with clients management or the higher ones, the CXOs or something. And there are so many so what's. If we say this, for example, if we say to them that someone can get inside your systems using this vulnerability, so what? So what then? So what they can do? So if we exploit systems, we can actually show them that, okay, if you are bank C, we have access to your client's records or complaints against you. So I hope that no more so what's. Yes, we can create reports with high severity findings, which bring dollars. So what do we exploit? We exploit memory corruption bugs. Server side, client side. Client side is in. Big organizations are being breached using these client-side memory corruption bugs. Some misconfigurations. This is a very wide term, misconfiguration. Any custom application or something which is not configured properly, allowing you to do some nasty things. Open file shares, sticky slips, man in the middle, many types, unsecure dumpsters, humans, not the other way. And something you guys want to add to this? What do we exploit? No one? Okay. So we had a look at a best case or a good scenario. This is a worst scenario. Many times we get vulnerabilities we can't exploit. No public exploits available. All of us are not exploit writers. Or it is not allowed in the system. It's an untouchable system, very precious one. We may break it. No matter if anyone else breaks it, since we are under some agreement, we can't do it. And this is a thing. How many of you have been blocked by any countermeasure during a penetration test? Are there too many liars here, I think? Yes. It's hard to admit, but sometimes this do happens with us that countermeasures doesn't allow us to say exploit the system. And who identifies this thing? What is this exploit completed but no session was generated? Somebody identifies this thing? How many Metasploit users are here? So, it's the thing. So, a worst scenario. A hardened system, patches in place, countermeasures blocking scans and exploits, security incident monitoring and blocking if it is being done properly, and yes, sometimes even no network access. And during some internal engagements, we are plugged it into some network which is blocked. We do not have access to any servers or something. So we need alternatives. So this is the best alternative. Anyone knows this guy? No one? He's the most powerful man in universe. Powerful even than this guy. So we need some real alternatives. So why do we need alternatives? Why there is any need of new methods to break into systems? Bad guys are getting smarter. We are the good guys. So these are some of the attacks. I'm calling too many names here, so I'm sorry. It was just meant for fun. So some smart attacks of 2011, which I was able to write down quickly. Sony, RSA, which is reportedly chained to Lockheed Martin and God knows to how many organizations. Epsilon, it was a spear phishing attack as well as I know, which is a good thing to own this much of data. Barracuda networks, as per them at least, that they turned off their WAF only for a few hours. And some smart attacks on Indian embassies in Paris, on some missions in Tibet. So maybe some of you have heard about this cloud, what was the report? Something in the cloud, dragon in the cloud or something. And in smart attacks of 2010, these ones, and many more like one on Apache in 2009. So it's not easy as it is done in the movies. We are not living in a swordfish, so we do have to do some hard work to get into systems. And those who defend the systems, they have or they are going smart away. It is harder now to break into secured environments where they follow at least some practices. Now it is generally not possible to get domain admin in 5 minutes. So we do need new methods for these things, and everyone is breaking into using always, using memory corruption bugs and OWASP things, SQLi, etc. So we need some new ways to look cool and to get our job done. So HID. It's a human interface device. It's a type of computer device that interacts directly with and most often takes input from humans and may deliver output to humans. So this is from Wikipedia. Mice, keyboards, joysticks, these are the most common human interface devices. So what could go wrong? If it's a device that interacts directly with and most often takes input from humans, what could go wrong with the human interface device? This. No, this is not something which has gone wrong with human interface device, but we'll make it to we will make it to use to break into systems. So it's a USB microcontroller device, storage of, if not wrong, about 130 KB. We'll use Teensy++, which is a newer and little better version of Teensy. These are some details from pjrc.com, which compares Teensy and Teensy++, both 2.0. USB can be any type of device, AVR processor, single push button, easy to use Teensy loader application. etc., etc. And the last thing, it's low cost. It's a low cost device, so you can freely use it, throw it at places, leave it at desks. So it doesn't cost much. These are the current usage of Teensy. These are some really cool projects from fox traps to laser balls to this is a keylogger, I think, by Iron Geek, and lots of things. So I think we should proceed with the hands-on or whatever it is. We'll install Arduino. How many of you have Windows machines? Quite a lot, because I'm sorry, I'm also working on a Windows XP machine. So, okay. I have 3 devices with me only. So maybe, and a 4th one which I'll use later on for demonstration. As I told you, because of some unfortunate reasons, there are no more devices with us. So maybe you have to do it in groups. On how many rows do we have at least one device? Because some of you have some devices with you. At least you can see in your neighbor system. You have one in that row? Okay. So first, let's install Arduino, and then I'll distribute the devices. So you can grab Arduino for Linux. Who will be working on Linux? Somebody will be working on Linux. Okay, so it's there, I think, in the workshop directory of what's my IP address? Of 192.168.30.74. Browse to it. I think you'll find it under workshop directory. And those who would like to do it on Windows, one second. We got that, Linux users. Because I can't run same thing on 2 devices. Kill. If someone of you using 64-bit systems, I think many of you, so you have to download it from this place. I don't have it for 64 bits. And we'll copy this to Linux users scan it from this place, and Windows users may also Teensy Arduino, latest Arduino, latest, and this thing. So everyone got it? At least those who plan to program the device? Copy it, this TGS archive, and this thing, these are for Linux, and the rest of 3 things you need to install it on Windows. It's 192.168.3074. So do we have Arduino on everybody's machine? It's 192.168.3074. Is it not accessible? Okay, maybe. Oh, sorry. I think I'm on another network. I'm so sorry. Yes. Oh, someone is downloading it 95. I'm so sorry. You have to download it again. Okay, get it from 192.168. Is it? 172.160.140. Those who have downloaded it on either Windows or Linux, extract it, run Teensy. Should look like this. Without when Teensy is not installed, you won't see these things. So how many of you have it downloaded and ready to your system and have extracted it, run Teensy? So only one or two? Good. Slow. Yes, you can download it from the internet. Yes, from this place if you want. This one, you can use this URL for Teensy and serial installer. For Arduino, I think you need to go to for Teensy sorry, for Arduino, go to this place, arduino.cc/en/main/software. If you want, you can download it directly from the internet. Whoa. So how many of you have it now? Because I think it got choked or something. How many of you have it now? Okay. Better, I think, download it from the internet then. Maybe someone is playing with me. Low speed here. So better download it from the internet. Here you can find the Arduino software. Better go for Linux because Linux one is quite small. And here you'll find other things. Teensy for Windows serial installer. Because it's already half an hour. Oh. Okay, I think I'll move forward. We can download this thing during the break or something, because this is a really basic thing. So after you extract it, copy the Teensy thing or run it, extract the Arduino, copy the Teensy loader. Oh, I haven't given you Teensy loader, have I? Sorry. No. Okay. So So you need this Teensy loader too, this thing, uh, for Windows machines. Is it okay if I move forward right now? Okay.
Is there a Teensy loader for Linux too?
Uh, I don't think so. It is required, but on Linux, I've actually I do it on Windows. Uh, but you need to add some rules, some UDEV rules if you want to use it as non-root. These things. I'm sorry, I never do it on Linux. Actually, it's better to program on the target. So when you extract this thing, Arduino, if you want to use it as a non-root user, then you need them.
Can I just fire root terminal?
Yes, 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 you can. How many of you have it now? Quite a few. Okay, meanwhile, you download it. Let's have a look at the things. To program Teensy, after you extract Arduino and run Teensy, you have to do some things like this. You need to select the board. These are the boards supported by Arduino development environment, AID. We'll do program with this thing. Those who already have a device, if they have Teensy 2.0, go with this thing. Then we'll use this USB type, which is keyboard, mouse, joystick. Rest of things are okay by default. So this is a thing which you generally forget when you start programming. But these two things are required. If you get errors like keyboard is not defined, which is a function there, just quickly look at whether you have selected the correct board or not.
In the Linux install is by default is not available in the Teensy option which are need to switch to solve.
Sorry?
In the Linux install, using the package you provided, the board option for Teensy is not available.
Have you ran Teensy Duino? Because if you haven't, then you will not see this thing. You have to run Teensy Duino, which is an add-on for Arduino environment. so. Okay, you have to select correct board and USB type, and there will be some examples here, some very quick ones. These examples, you can look at these things later on if you want to have a quick look how a program is structured, because I don't program LEDs in any of my sketches. These are called sketches in Arduino. I don't program LEDs. These guys have examples with LEDs. So what's the programming syntax? How many of you have you worked even little bit on C or C++? Maybe many of you. Okay, it's okay. So sketch of a sketch is there are at least two functions required, which they call bare minimum in Arduino terms, something called bare minimum or something like that. Setup, which is which runs whenever you connect the device. As the name suggests, it sets up things. We'll do most of our programming in this thing because we don't want any thing to be typed again and again, or any command to be done again and again. And this thing, which keeps, it's a loop. Loop is a function which loops. It will keep executing the same or typing out the same thing which you program inside this. So let's have a look at basic usage and programming of Teensy by writing a hello world. We have a device in this row, I think, only. Keep mind till I'm not demonstrating anything. This one, you guys can club together and do it on a system. We have one in this row, I think. You have one? You have, okay. So this you can use in this row. You guys have one, I think, a device.
We have our own, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Any device in this row? Should you guys like to program it?
We don't have any serial port at all.
USB port is required actually. Yes, no serial port is required. A USB port is required for this. If you guys want to program it, or okay. No rows, no devices here. So I'm sorry. So you guys have to do it together. Okay, well, thank you. So this is for your row. You guys will be programming. Oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like to do this? Would you like to program this?
Yeah, sure. If I ever get it down there.
Okay.
How do I install the file? Because I got an error.
For Windows, this exe is not required. You're running
No,
the
it's
Windows.
Linux.
11 minutes left.
I know what you're doing. It's saying, oh, the Java runtime is not there.
No, this is a cheapo network.
Is it that thing?
Java runtime
Is it's required? Java runtime is required for this.
I think it's already installed.
Is there?
It's taking forever to get down.
Is Sun JDK?
No, Sanjay. Are you in a X system? It's a GUI? Are you in X Windows or something?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, yes, you're there.
So
Oh.
since it's a serial error. I just select I select the folder, but afterwards it's just displays the error. I've seen it's 32.
Bit.
Yep. And I'm guessing I'm in 64.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, please.
This one did a lot of stuff when it started up. Do you have programmed it already to do something?
Yes.
Yes, could you tell us what exactly? Because I just unplugged my networks cable on person.
Okay, so yes, this needs to be typed in a command shell, but it's typing out. So we'll have a look at it. So we are on the same ground. We have selected this board, this USB type. So we're fine with this? I think so. So two things. Setup without return and a loop. So these are the basic things required for any sketch to run. So there are some nice functions which you can call. We'll be mostly using keyboard. So if you want, for example, for writing a hello world, this is a very basic thing which you can try it out right now. Sorry? Yes, it's a semicolon. I put a colon. Oh, sorry. So do this, verify it. And keep your cursor here because it will type out.
Did you declare keyboard in advance or something like that?
Sorry?
Did you declare the class keyboard in advance?
Yes, yes, it's there.
Yeah, but did you declare it somewhere? Because this one says that keyboard were not declared in this.
Have you selected this thing?
Yeah.
That's it. And oh. Okay, the board should be. You've not installed Teensy, do you know? This thing. Was it a Windows system? Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. So this thing you need serial install and Teensy, do you know? So Teensy, do you know adds on things to program Teensy using Arduino. So the device said hello to anyone? Oh, you said hello world? Have you installed this Teensy Arduino thing? Do you have a 64-bit system? Do you have a 64-bit system? Okay, so I'm sorry I don't have that with me, but you can get it from this place. Here. From pgrc.com/teensy td_download.html. Get this thing, Linux installer 64-bit. I work on old systems, I'm so sorry, 32-bit, XP. So yes, yes. To the network? Yes, I am. 172.160.140. So again, you need to extract Arduino, run Teensy Arduino. On Windows, you have to run this serial installer thing. Only then you'll be able to see these options. Someone tested it successfully? Types out hello world for you? Any hello worlds yet? What's the problem you guys are facing? Yes. Yes.
All right, so, so it's installing the, where the hell did it go? So it's installing the Arduino, right? Right.
You need to just need to extract it.
We've extracted the stuff,
True.
and then I've got my
Teensy Arduino.
Teensy, wherever the hell it's gone now. That's freaking weird. It's vanished now. What's the file name of Teensy?
It's Teensy DU. I know
Yeah.
Teensy Arduino.
Teensy. TCD, right, so, yes. Yes. Right, so next. I need to run it as administrator. That's what some people might be getting hung up on too, is on Windows 7 it needs to run as
True.
administrator.
And have you installed that serial driver using serial install? Because
No.
you need that too on Windows machines.
That doesn't install automatically?
No, that's another exe serial and just install on the web server.
Is here, so 172.16,
0.140, yes.
right? It's just not, it just keeps timing out.
I'll run it again then I think, maybe, I don't know. I'll run it again. So unable to connect to this? Okay. You should be. Can someone test it out again? Are you able to connect to this URL? 172.160.140? No?
Any chance you can copy the mouse? Can you
Yeah,
show me
sure,
this one?
sure.
It's too slow to download.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Just the Arduino, the others I have.
Okay. Okay, someone is connected now. I use it directly. Is it clean?
I haven't connected to my system yet.
Okay. Because I don't know, it's an XP system.
No, they gave it to our sister during the.
Yes, that I know. Okay, maybe I'll do it. Okay, I'll take the risk.
Network trouble?
Sorry?
Is there network trouble?
No, it was, but I think it's working now. It's working now.
Okay.
So you wanted that Arduino?
Yes, please.
Could you please pass it on to others too? But what? Running out of time. Okay, I'll copy other things too, just in case.
Oh.
Teensy Arduino and serial install. Okay, got it. Yep. So we got the hello world, at least I think one of two, someone who got it, any one of you? What are the problems you guys are facing? Okay.
So we keep getting stuck in the same spot, which is it's asking us where to select. So you pick your,
I should, but I cannot choose anything here.
it doesn't let you.
No, you say here or you then it don't have.
I mean, it doesn't
Oh,
go.
yeah, we could click on this place.
And
And it's where? It's in C drive or where?
okay.
But you can pick anything. It doesn't. It's the same thing's happening for me.
No, if you pick Arduino, you have to select the where you have extracted Arduino.
So it'd be an
This
Arduino,
package,
wouldn't it?
yes, you have to extract this.
No,
But it's already.
Have you extracted this? You have to extract this.
I've downloaded from the internet that.
Yes, but you have to extract this first. Extract it, it's an archive. That Arduino 1.0 is an archive, extract it.
The problem is I think download is not completed.
Why?
Because I started download,
Mm-hmm.
but don't the.
Because I think someone has it on a flash drive, that guy can have it, or just try downloading it again.
Did you restart your server?
He's got that. Or download again, won't take much time, I think.
I installed the Arduino.
What's the problem you guys are facing? Is it working?
Probably, yeah. But why does it write hello world?
Sorry?
Where is it going to show you that it typed hello world? I mean, do you just have to open Notepad and give it the focus?
Yes, or wherever on the ADE itself, just keep the focus there and it'll type it out.
You need to type it out, it doesn't do anything.
It will, I think. It should.
You mean down here? Oh.
Anyway, just show me. Yes, you have you loaded it into the device?
Well, as far as we,
Just compile it again.
as far as we know, it should do it. Compiling.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should it now automatically?
Yes, yes. It
So when you
should.
plug and unplug, it should do it. Oh,
I know it should do it right now, or you have to reboot it
yeah.
first. There's a reboot button. Okay, maybe try adding a delay prior to this keyboard.println. Right.
Reboot OK says now.
Okay, just click it over here. Okay, I think it's because of the. Just add a delay of 5,000 before this. Type delay.
And this one?
Yes.
Okay, so
Delay parenthesis
yeah.
5,000. Close the parenthesis semicolon. Not right.
It's 5,000 microseconds, milliseconds.
It's that, yes. That means 5 seconds.
Okay.
Yes, it should work now.
So should we push the button?
It's not required actually.
Okay.
Can't you keep the status window beside it? You can see what the device. So I'm in your.
We completed this thing. Just say yes to it. This is kind of weird.
Now press the button once more because now you've got it in focus.
Does it come only with
Just
this USB?
Go for the focus. You can see it over there.
Ah, that's
That's
it.
it.
Okay.
So don't forget to give it the focus before you.
Yes, that is just for testing. We'll be getting focus for ourselves.
So now if I unplug it and replug it, it will write hello world.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Does the Teensy come with the bigger USB size interface?
No, because I don't know why.
Okay, because if you wanted to simulate, let's say, a usual USB device, the interface would not be like this one.
Yes, true. In that case, you may need some hub or something. So you've configured it here. Can you get okay? Here is it? Okay, you guys already do it. Is it going good?
Yeah.
Any problems?
I'm hoping it's going to work now.
Okay.
Okay, that is.
So I think we have 3 rows where we have this thing working here. On the second row, it's working, I think. Yes, and on the third row, they already know how to do these things, and on the 5th row, we're working on it. So, okay, we have to move forward because I'm running out of time. When does the break starts? Okay, so now we'll see some demos. We'll go through some source code, do some more programming. So about Cautelia. It's a toolkit which aims to make Teensy more useful in pen tests. It's named after an Indian strategist, military philosophist, Chanakya. He's also known as Cautelia. It's written in Ruby. It's a menu-driven program. You'll be asked some questions, keep answering them, and you'll have your payload ready. Yeah, and it aims to make Teensy part of every penetration test. Just have any one of you used Cautelia? No? Maybe now you may start doing this thing. So what are the payloads? Payloads are written for Teensy without SD card because that makes it easy for everyone. Just order it from pgrc.com, use Cautelia, and you can use it in your pen tests. Pastebin is very extensively used in payloads, both for upload and download. For example, there's a payload for keylogging. It logs the keys of the victim and uploads it to Pastebin. Uh, Payloads are commands, mostly PowerShell scripts, combination of both. And yes, this one thing, payload execution, of course, it depends on privileges of the currently logged in user. You can't add a user using this device with a low priv user. And it's obviously mostly off of Windows. It's a victim of choice, widely used desktop environment. So may I start with the demonstration? So this is the toolkit. We got some 18 payloads. Some of them are still unstable. Some are quite useful. So we'll prior to going to lunch, I think we'll have a quick look at a single demonstration, a quite basic one, adding an admin user to Windows. So when you download it from the internet, the toolkit, or I'll just copy it into my web server. You get this thing, go to lib, run this thing, you get inside the tool, select the option, see one. There is a description. Can anyone see it? Is it two down? Better? Or shall I increase the font size? Okay, so it's asking for the username of the user you want to add. Just say, for example, test bheu, the password. Right now, I don't know how I forgot to add this thing. The password, what we'll type over here will be visible. So let's say we say test at 123. So a PDE file which was used in older versions of Arduino actually it's a file extension by Arduino. Now it's INO. So it will be created. You have to use it. You have to copy it to your Teensy device, connect it to the victim somehow, and it'll do the work for you. So let's have a quick look at this thing. So in the output directory, I think I shall remove the other ones. This file is generated. Copy it. If you are using Linux for this thing, you can do it directly. Wait, closely, no. So here's what we are doing. We are opening a PowerShell as admin user, because in Windows, all of these payloads are target Windows 7, because PowerShell is installed by default, and as far as I know, it's not possible, I think, to remove PowerShell from Windows 7. It's integrated or something. So if you type out this command in your command prompt in PowerShell and in Windows 7, this will open up a PowerShell shell with elevated privileges. So if someone tries it out, you'll see that we'll get a USC prompt. So here's the flow of the program. You have to introduce this delay to get it working on Windows. I'm sorry if you are not getting that hello world thing, because you need this delay in Windows, and I don't know why. Maybe it's sort of slow or something, but a delay of 5 seconds is required in Windows. When you use it on the field, that is, you connect it on any system for the first time, add a delay at least of 25 seconds, because the driver gets loaded and all that thing. So what we are doing here is, do you need a break? I think I don't need one. If somebody wants one, you guys need it? If you want, you can. Meanwhile, others can set up the thing, or I can continue with this thing. Whatever you guys wish. Okay, let me. Okay, guys can leave for break. I don't want you to miss your coffee or something. I think it's. Or let me complete this thing. At 10:15, we'll have a break of 15 minutes. Is it okay with you guys? Okay. So let's have a quick look at the flow of the program, what we are doing over here. After introducing the delay, we are calling a function called run, which is this. So to program something in Teensy, you have to think that how when you type out a command or a script on Windows, because it's victim, you'll be working on that. So what you do? So what we are doing here is in the function run, we are calling set modifier. This is required for special keys. We'll have a in-depth look maybe later on this thing. So we are doing this. Can anybody guess what we are doing over here? What do you need to run a command on Windows? What do you do generally? Yes, exactly. So it's what we are doing is pressing Windows R. So that opens up run prompt. We are typing some command, and that some command is ps_admin, which is this thing. So what all this do is open up a UAC prompt for you, and if you say yes to that UAC prompt, then you'll have a PowerShell shell with elevated privileges. But no user is going to say yes, or you can't wait for the user. So we have to say yes to that UAC prompt by ourselves by sending an Alt-Y. So here's what we are doing. We open up run prompt. We type PowerShell start process, this thing. We got a UAC prompt. We say yes. And then we type out net user and all that in this elevated privilege shell. So this is how the program's flow seems to be. Run ps_admin, that is ask for a priv shell, say yes to it. These delays you can adjust as per your need. Add user, add it to admin group. So may I have a device for demonstration of this thing? May I have a device for a couple of minutes? Yeah, thank you. So we compiled it on the device. This was just for demonstration. You don't need these things obviously on the victim. I think I just have to reconnect it. So when I connect this to a victim, hopefully our run prompt opens up. There is a UAC prompt. And these are the delays. You can adjust it. I've used 10 seconds just for the demonstration. So 10 seconds prior to UAC prompt, 10 seconds after UAC prompt. So a user is added. You can see it. Uh, test bheu, here's a user. So there's a very basic thing you can do using this device. And I think we'll disperse for break. After break, if you guys come back, we'll have look at some more advanced things, make some changes to payloads. If things go good, we'll program some new payloads. Let's stand in here. Let's move on. So we'll quickly have a look at other payloads, and then maybe we'll modify them. So let's leave these two. If we have time, we'll have a look at them later on. Let's go with this one, add a user and enable RDP. So again, we need to enter some. We need to enter some username. Let's say test again, RDP, password. That's it. So what it will do, it will add this user, open up RDP for you if it's disabled, so that you can, if you are in some internal engagement or pen test something, you can RDP into that machine in office hours or things like that. So it's here. Yes. Just keep in mind while doing these things that Arduino supports multiple sketches, so don't open that thing in the same window, because when you'll compile it, if for example you add that RDP code in new sketch here, it will try to compile both of the things together. So it will create a mess, so better close it. So this is the program. As you can see, again, this is the same thing which we did for adding a user, but this time we are playing with some registry. We are adding some things, just starting terminal service, adding it to Windows firewall exception list. So let's quickly have a look at this. I'll need it for some time now.
How do you run the Katija?
Yes. You can. Are you asking me to put it on the web server? Or?
No. How do you run it?
Okay. Okay. I'll show that thing first. So this is what you get after you download it from the internet, extract it. And yes, I should have mentioned that in the README. Go to lib, say ruby main.rb. You need to have colored gems for these, some color I use. Yeah. So, okay. So we'll have a quick look at this thing. It's just the delays, you can change it as per your needs. No, I think I forgot to type an exit here. which you should. So now we have a user called test RDP with this password, and should be able to log into the machine. It is 131, I think. Oh. So RDP is enabled now. Loads of user. Here's the user test RDP. Yes, and you can log it off. We are not going to do that right now. So our user is added, RDP is started, and all that. Okay, so now, but these two which we just saw, they require admin privileges, which may be or may not be the case. It depends on your luck or the kind of environment which you're targeting. So for those kind of things, you should go for like the sixth one, forceful browsing. So what it do, it asks you for a URL. Enter that URL. Maybe what we'll be seeing is an older Internet Explorer exploit, just to host something in Metasploit somewhere. Enter that URL over here, and when the victim connects it to the system, you'll see. So let's quickly, we'll use it's 03. Oh. Windows, browsers, am I doing something wrong? Should be MS, oh, not 0. So we'll use this one quickly. Famous one, reverse metadata. And my IP address of my local net on the machine. So we are going to enter this here, and it's entered the payload. Quickly copy it. So what's it doing? Yes, so one thing which you can see commented out is I was testing out, I saw this on Hack5 forums actually, I was testing out to minimize the, not minimize, decrease the size of that large command prompt, so it's less visible. Ready? Yes?
Yeah. The Catilla produced a file, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You just load this file in this framework and then compile it, that's it?
Yes, compile it and it will be loaded on your device, that's it. So the file has been generated, this file by Cotilla. Now you have to just compile it into the device and connect it.
Without typing any other code?
No, no code is required. So what are we doing over here is we're using a partial script. We are calling, or we are creating an object of Internet Explorer, setting its visibility to false in the second line, and then asking it to navigate to the URL we entered. But there's a catch with the partial scripts, the execution policy. Generally, by default, I think it's signed and disabled for remote scripts. This is not a remote script because we type it out on the victim machine, but it's not signed. So to bypass that thing, we call it from a VB script, and from that VB script, we say partial.exe execution policy bypass, which is a nice hack to bypass execution policy on a system. And this thing to make it stealthy, and this is the command, basic partial thing. So let's connect it to the victim, and hopefully it works. We don't need any UAC prompt, no need UAC prompt because we are working as a normal user. So let's see, sometime it works, sometime it doesn't. Okay, so so we got a metadata session. Okay, so we got a metadata session by this thing. It can be used for a lot of things, beef, any other thing which requires you to force the victim to browse to URL, beef, XSSF, anything, any. For example, there's some nice thing like sending files using HTTP. I'm working on that thing. So whenever you require a browser, you can use this thing. So that's okay, but what if you require to download and execute something? Could you, someone please tell me that what is the basic restriction on parameter of every environment? It's about download. No, you should not be able to download EXEs. And as far as I am concerned, the best thing I know Metapeta provides is a Metapeta EXE. Works almost on any Windows system at least. So what we'll be doing, we'll download an EXE in text format from Pastebin. I'm using Pastebin here, or you can use any of your servers. Using Pastebin is advised because your server may not be maybe blacklisted or may not be whitelisted in some environments. You can use even Google Docs with this thing in place of Pastebin, but I prefer Pastebin. So it's asking for a Pastebin URL where your exe is pasted. And to convert your exe to text, you need a partial script, which I borrowed from a nice blog called Exploit Monday. So is it visible now? So this payload downloads an exe in text format from Pastebin, change it back to executable on victim machine, executes it. So let's have a look at this thing. Those who have downloaded Cortillec and found this in extras folder, exe to txt.ps1. So I think I have to generate a payload prior to that thing. So let's quickly generate again a reverse interpreter with the lhost set to my local BT machine. Let's call it test txt. Oh. Has someone tried that browse thing? Okay, so we have a test.exe. Let's move it. I have this script on my Windows machine. So save it. This will be detected normally on even if you download it as a text, and when you'll convert back it to exe, it may get detected at that time. So use something customized. So this is the script which you can find in extras folder, exe to txt. So, whoa, sorry. So here we give it the path. It will write it to payload txt. You need to copy this to pastebin. This thing I'm working on to make it automated so that you just enter your pastebin ID and password and it pastes over there. So let's edit this. Or rather create a new one. It's this. No, nothing. It's private. It's demo payload. We need to provide it in a raw format. Let's, okay. So now it is generated a payload which will download the exe in text format from pastebin. The usual thing will So let's go quickly through this. We're using the web client object from PowerShell. This is the URL from where we'll download the text, and we convert back it to payload and add it to temp directory and then execute it using start process without opening a new window so that no one sees anything. think we need to start a listener first. Is it set? Yes, it is. Oh. Let's connect to the victim. I think I have not compiled it. No. Yep. So we should have. No, we don't have one. Okay, seems like a demo failed for me. Does this work? Yes, it did. So maybe I'll give it another try. No, it works. So this should work. That's let's quickly check it out. So in our code, what we're doing is download.ps1, and the VB script which calls it is download.vbs. So the script seems to be fine. Creates a payload.exe. Where is the payload.exe? Okay, so some leftover from previous tests, I think. Yep. Oh. So is it that machine? Yes, we have it on that machine. I don't know why it took so long. Maybe. Yes, we got a shell. No, I didn't execute it. It takes time sometimes. I don't know why. But not this much. Okay, so we can execute Metapreter exe. For example, there's one nice thing by Astro Baby. It's a payload generator, Metasploit payload generator, which creates some nice exes which are generally better than the default ones. So we can use that thing with this. Okay. And obviously you can use anything like Google Docs over here instead of Pastebin. You have to just change the URL. The tool says that you enter the Pastebin URL where you have pasted it and all that. You just need to take care that the default format, that is, there should be no new lines, otherwise it won't be able to change it back to exe. There should be no new lines, it should be in the same format, in this format, this thing. This should be in this format with the, if there are new lines which are not here in this case, we have trouble. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Okay, so set HC and utilman backdoor. So these two things are well known to penetration testers for a long time. That on a locked Windows system, if you press Shift 5 times, the sticky keys pop up. You got that sticky keys pop up. If you press Window U, you get that utilman thing. So what if you add some exe, or like in this case command shell, as a debugger to those things? So if you do that successfully, you'll get your exe executed with system level privileges on a locked Windows machine. So let's try cmd.exe first. We are just adding some registry values here, and since we have to do it in HKLM, we are doing it in HKLM, not we have to do, but right now we are doing it in HKLM, so we need privileges. So right now, if we log the system and press Window U, nothing happens. The utilman should. Okay, I think I was testing out something. Yes. So this is something which we shall remove. So if you press Window U now, it's ease of access. If you press Shift 5 times, it's sticky keys. And if we connect it to the victim, if you lock it now and press U, we get the command shell with system privileges. If you press Shift 5 times, we get the shell with system privileges. So this comes in handy if you have access. For example, we have used this in my job. I've used this in, for example, libraries where systems are generally not logged, sometime at reception. But one thing you have to do in libraries, you won't generally find the systems with the admin privileges. So this is something which can be used only as far as I am concerned. I'm using this as an active attack. That I see someone is working as administrator, he looks somewhere else. I quickly connect my device, and this thing is done. So we'd like to do a little coding over here. something different. For example, just use it, leave the coding thing, just use it for a meterpreter. Would you like to do it, or shall I move forward with the demonstration? Yes? Sorry? Demonstrate, okay. Okay, so, okay, good. Okay, so the next thing would be this uninstall application is, I think, not stable right now. Needs a lot of things to do. Maybe we'll try the registry export thing. Okay, so now all these payloads, they require you to enter your username and password for Pastebin. So if you register with Pastebin, you get few things. You get a unique API key, this thing, which you require to upload private pastes to Pastebin. So obviously we don't like to paste data of any of our clients as a public paste. So I think if you want to mess with this username and password, please do it after the workshop, because I know it's visible. And the dev key. So now it will pull, it's the, in terms of what Teensy types out, it's the longest one. It types out a lot of things to make it readable when you get that information uploaded. Okay, so there are some catches, something very silly when you use echo for typing out. Echo behaves differently when you use it in PowerShell prompt and normal CMD prompt. So typing out these sort of double quotes, single quotes, it's tough to do that in PowerShell as far as I tested it out. So now I'll be launching a simple command prompt with elevated privileges. And to do that in Windows systems, you need this thing. You open up the start menu by pressing Window key. You type CMD, press Control, Shift, Enter. And if you say yes, this one is with elevated privileges. So that's what exactly we'll do here. We press the Window key, typed out CMD, press Control, hold it with Shift, press Enter. Then we called Alt Y to say yes and all that. And this is the thing which exports a lot of information from registry. So let's try it out, and I think you should program something after this, because it would be a demonstration in that case. I want you guys, maybe even if it sounds not that interesting, to learn some programming around this thing, because this thing really works in most of the environments. So let me do a quick demo for this one. Then I think we'll do some exercise or some sort of thing. Sounds good? Uh, so in this case, sometimes it depends on again on the privileges, what is accessible and what is not. But in any case, if you're running it as in elevated privileges, you should have access to most of the things. So this one is quite large, and I'm actually working on merging some things so that you need not type that much. And if that worked, we should have a private paste with some info of this target. Yes, here it is, info dump. So what we have logged in users, network service, system profile, local service, this user, this user, this user, this user. Partial environment, yes, if it would not have been installed, we will be seeing this thing. Trusted hosts, OT. Recently used commands. This is the thing which I'm going to remove because this shows what I have typed out or the Teensy have typed out in the environment. So maybe I'll remove this. Shares on the machine, environment variables, current users. Again, if there would have been any SNMP community strings, installed applications. Domain name, it's not on any domain. Contents of etc hosts, running services, account policy, again local users, there is no wireless interface, otherwise details of wireless systems. That's it, I think. So I want you guys to add something to this. Could you please do it? Just open the source. Do you have Cortelia on your machines, everyone? Yes, so do it. You have to. Just would be a simple thing. Just add anything which you think is not here. Add it into the PowerShell script, and you know that it will get uploaded over there. We'll see who does what, and you can, if you want, you can just add your name in the script so that we know who did that. Quickly. When we do the first, retains his Teensy. Otherwise, you have to give me back the devices. Now, is it interesting now? So, the one who do it first and good, retains his Teensy. Please do it. Sorry? Thank you. It's KAU, this one.
Okay.
And tap out code Google or Teensy with it.
There was a U, that's why I couldn't grab it.
Or better go for code.google.com/p/Cortelia.com/p/capital K Cortelia KAU. Yes.
There we go. Thanks.
I think you need the device.
Just open the light. Like, home and source. And then there you have all the code. They have all of them. User app.
If you think there's something I've missed in dumping information from a victim, add it to this. Or if you want to program something else. If you're doing it from registry, keep in mind this function. So you guys doing something? Trying to do? Okay. So are you okay with the pace of the workshop, or I need to go with the demos only? Is it too hard to expect that you can code it right now? Sorry? You've done it? Wow. Sorry? Uh, no. Just check out, are you working on the script directly? Just check out that if username and password is correct over there. Should be, where is it? This? Have you changed it somehow by mistake? It's the username should be Teensy test and the password should be Nikhil Teensy test. test, and the password should be my name, Nikhil, Teensy test. I think we have 5 or 6 more minutes for this session, so quick. If you want, you can show it afterwards too. We have one more session. Sure. Yay! So what have you added?
I removed all the other. I don't want to have the information, so I removed
Okay.
We took all away to the end.
So good.
it. I don't know.
Keep the device, you're a winner. So in 5 minutes we have to break for it. We have a couple of things to see. I think I'll be able to cover that in an hour. If you have time, we'll customize some of these too. Okay, so how do you find it? Do you think that you guys will be able to program the device after this, or I need to, because okay, I have 5 minutes more, so you will be able to program the device after this, or I need to tell you more things, because it's a slow-paced thing, I know.
Is there an online tutorial of ADE or of the Teensy device?
Sorry,
Is there an online tutorial how to program the Teensy device?
I don't think so. Yes.
This is a Black Hat conference, so I can just say, this is too visible.
Mhm.
The screen, is there any way to hide it?
Which one?
The PowerShell prompt running. It's too visible if you're doing a pen test.
Okay.
These two are not
Okay. True.
So if you use this option,
Yes, I actually tested out something. This. Oh no, not on this one. I'm testing that thing, which is true, because it's very loud and clear to a user. So I tested out this on some. No, not on this one. This thing. At least for a CMD payload, because this is creating some problems for me actually. If I type it out in one line, it's not working, and this basically reduces it to a single character with same background, same font type, so it's less visible. But you have to live with that. If you want to work with this, you have to live with at least that thing. Also, what I'm working on is there will be a prompt installing drivers or something. So if you drop it as a USB toy or something, it could be at least somewhat convincing. But that thing you have to live with. At least a small window. If you try this thing out, you'll see that it opens up a really small command window with same color and background and font and all these things.
You can always write something such as installing driver or trying to trick the user into.
Yes, I'm working on that to rename the title, installing drivers with some. So I'm working on that thing still. Right now I'm focusing on what I can do and then what I can do still. Okay, so I think we'll break for coffee or something. Join me back if you liked it. Thank you.